Hello, my name is Mr.Bonesworths, and this is how I do my Vanity Mirror Pig. Wait, Vanity Mirror? Well, that's a Mars add-on. Pig doesn't have that. Well, it's iridescent, for one, and it's a bit better in one category, but a bit worse in another. Whereas a bit worse, it makes it so you move slower than survivors, but you can move about the same speed with the brown add-on, which I'll be using. And the positive is that you're completely undetectable, and you're a bit hard to see since you crouch, and, well, with the outfit I'm wearing, it on most maps, you'll be harder to spot in general. Now, this is mostly the build I personally use. I've seen people use the one that makes it so you can crouch up and down faster. I've seen so you can get an extra trap back, which, that's more you relying back on your traps than the stealth element of it. And I've also used Game of Foot, Flavor Food, and Rapid Brutality to move a bit faster while crouched. Though I think Rapid Brutality is good for looping, it's not so much if you want to keep your stealth going. The one I'm using right now, or two, more like it, is something to help break pallets because most people know Pallet City is the game's nickname and it lives truly to that, with the most god pallets and abundance of pallets in conjunctions. Like you can run to god pallet to god pallet, and what that means is basically you can't really avoid not breaking them, otherwise you're negatively going to catch the survivor, and so on. Up next is a returning perk, Gift of Pain. Now I like running Gift of Pain over Sloppy Butcher any day. Mostly because, hey, I can use my M2, as long as I can get to the hook, I'll get the same effects, and some more extra. It's just a decent perk. Up next is another pick you could switch out. I again do this to break pallets faster, and it gives you a little bit of vault speed, pickup speed. It's just a comfy perk. But if I were to name something else you want to possibly bring, claustrophobia will give you a lot more bang for your buck. 30 seconds after each gen's popped, and if you put deadlock, you're gonna get a guaranteed bit of value each time. And windows are just generally a weakness of pig. And up next is Jolt. Jolt is a really good time saver. It makes it so you can M1 a survivor and do 8% off any nearby gens. Say you have 4 gens nearby, you see that only 3 pop, so one's not getting worked on, one is got some progress, another one, and you hear someone else scream, okay, that's where the survivor is. Where do I go after the unhook? Ah, straight there. And it could help get your the unhook and make it so you don't lose a gen. It's really decent. I think it's one of the picks that can actually work through deadlock, but I'm not quite sure. Now let's go into how I actually play her, and how possibly to give you some tips. For one, when I start with the game, I automatically go to the lower floors. I can look up, look side to side, there's more walls to hide my cover. Most survivors don't expect the killer to come up and get them, more like come from the top and drop from the bottom, since it's easier to go down than up. There is also a lot of gens near the exits of the lower floor, so when you go upstairs, there's usually gens nearby, or fairly close. And upstairs has a few, if they're not by the exits, behind walls which you can sneak up behind. Also near the exits of the lower floors. What I mean by that is, hey, you go up the stairs, there's walls separating some sections. One of the most notable ones that I like to sneak up on survivors is the drop, where you go up the stairs and it's the little window you take that goes down to a decent pallet and then a god pallet, and sometimes a freezer. That is a lovely spot to just uncrouch, grab a survivor off the gen, or if you don't think you can make it because they are super alert, they've gotten to the side that has it so they can quickly go up the steps, then you can dash and save some time. And I've had it so I can body block the survivor right after a hit as they're going up the stairs, because they really want that window. Now, what you might fail to realize is that your traps, even though you have two less, are still truly important, since it can cause a bit more tension and stress, especially towards the end game. I like putting my hats on people when there's two gens left. That way, it does a little bit more pressure. It gives me more time for them to turn the corner and me to be like, "Hi, boo, I'm gonna kill ya." That type of thing. And also makes it so I don't reveal my hand too quickly. If they see you only have two traps near the beginning of the match, like you down one person, trap, you down another person, trap, you down a third person, no trap, down another person, no trap again. Okay, there's a add-on that's most likely in play. This is one of the weaknesses of Myers, is that he reveals his hand too quickly. Besides the fact that Vanity and Scratch are very popular add-ons, they also have many ways to be counted, and you don't want the survivors to become too paranoid too quickly. It's fun to have the survivors be paranoid that you're going to be around any corner watching them or following them, but they become exhausted and they will become less fun, per se. They'll always be expecting the jump scare, they'll always be ready. If they don't think you have this, they will not be as on guard. They won't be so willing to give up. I touched a little bit on it before, but try to go for grabs. Grabs are a easier way to scare people. And besides, the roar is too choreographed. When they hear the roar, it will scare them, but not as much as just plainly putting them on the hook. And it can freak out their teammates, just like, oh, this pig knows what they're doing, so on and so forth. I say that a lot. Now to counters. Sadly, this is a bit Oregon centric, so a very common perk is distortion at the moment, and having this group make it so they know you have this add-on, and if they have off the record, they'll be immune to being seen for 90 seconds no matter what, well, unless if it's endgame. But another thing to look out for is made for this, since if you're crouching a lot and they just are running and they're paranoid, if you try to uncrouch and get them with a swipe like M1, they will sometimes get away. And same if you dash. That little bit of distance does make a huge difference. As for counters of perks, being forced to M2 or them going away from the gens will counter Jolt. Fire Up doesn't really have much that can counter it. It's just a very comfy perk. Although sometimes they'll be able to get flashlight saves or flashbangs they wouldn't be able to get before because, hey, you picked up a little bit sooner. Gift of Pain, they could have, we'll make it and they'll get rid of the penalty for the mangled effect, but then it still does its secondary effect, so. And Brutal's just there. It can make it so you kick gens a little bit faster, so there's that. But otherwise will not be too useful unless they actually drop a pallet. And that's about it. I wanted to make a video because I don't really get why this is not up there with Vanity and Scratch for add-ons. It's really fun and can be just as scary. I think the best scare I've had with one of my friends was playing custom and I was running this type of build. And we still laugh about it to this day. That's gonna do it though. See you on the flip side.